Hello and welcome to Getter Farms. We're on the Old Stream Farm map today by Black Sheep Modding, and this is our no starting money challenge. We're sitting at 3,057 in the wallet and negative 10,000 from a loan perspective right now. And so we're still in mid-spring. We are running on 6-day seasons on this playthrough, and we're just really still getting started. This is our second real episode on the series, and we've got some lime spreading to do. And so we've got 2 of our fields that need some lime, and so we're going to go ahead and try out this Wilmer lime spreader on our field. I think we're going to start over here along the river and give us a little bit of a headland to turn around here on. And then we've got one other field that's going to need some lime as well. So we're hoping that this is going to get us through both of our fields. It looks like our hopes are going to be realized. I'm just going to drive out here on the road with this. I'm sure nobody will mind. And I'm really loving this smaller, older John Deere equipment that we're getting to use. This is what I got to drive when I was on the farm. What is this? This is a 4240? Yeah, this was our sprayer tractor. Ran the stock chopper, things like that in the fall. Love this tractor. Spent way too many years driving around in this thing when I was a teenager. So it's fun to get to see it again in game. Never spread lime though. This was something we had the co-op come out and do for us, I think once in the 4 or 5 years that I was working there, so good times. And once we get this lime spread on the field here today, I think the next order of business is going to be to jump into the plow and start plowing these same 2 fields to get everything ready for spring planting. I did swap out our sprayer. I didn't bother showing it off because I swapped it out with the exact same sprayer, but there was a mod on the mod hub that increased the working speed of the sprayer, and I think it also added manure hose support and or some other different little features. We're not going to use any of that on this playthrough, I don't think. I don't really want to get into the manure hoses and things like that on this one, or the spray hoses in general. At least not at this point, because that's going to require a bunch of additional equipment, to be honest, which I didn't think about ahead of time, and I don't really want to add it in mid-stream, so to speak. So we're just going to use base game pallet filling and things at this point right now, at least. But the improved working speed was definitely the drawing point for that mod. And then I have not yet had a chance to add sprayer section control to it, but I do plan on doing that before we get into spraying. But that won't be this episode, I don't think, because by the time we get done liming and plowing, we've still got planting to do before we're going to get to spraying, so I don't think I can squeeze between the truck there. We're not going to try it. We're going to go around. And then at some point here, as we progress through spring, I think our grass field's going to be ready to mow, so I haven't looked at that yet, but I know it's coming. I'm trying to figure out the best way to get around our farm here. The good news is there are multiple paths around stuff, so you don't always feel like you have to go exactly the same way. I'm kind of curious to see how this little 4240 is going to pull this lime spreader up the hill, and I think we've got our answer. Not very well. Maybe when we get back down to that other end, we're going to switch the tractors out. I just want to make sure I'm liming the right field here. Yep. And so this is turning out to be a fun little series. I like this equipment that we've got. I did have somebody recommend a map to me that I think would be an awesome fit for this series. Unfortunately, we're already getting and going on this, so we'll see how this first year ends up, and then maybe we'll think about picking up our own farm, since, you know, the story here is, at least the story was when I was working on the role play, that we were working our grandfather's farm for a year to see if we could make money. But we'll see what happens here. I do like getting a chance to try out new maps. And I know several people have asked me to start doing more, you know, mod spotlight, mod review type videos as well. So that's something I'll think about. But I do like just getting a chance to play on a map for a bit. So I'm trying to figure out how to add variety without it feeling like I'm jumping around too much. So we'll definitely think about that a little bit. I did add manual attach in though, because I love that mod, and it's one of those things, once you get used to it, I find that I can't stop getting out of the vehicle to attach things, so it was a good addition to put back in. And let's see if I can lower it first. No, I can't lower it, it'll unfold. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and put this guy on this lime spreader and see how we do going up these hills. Beep, beep. Gotta get ourselves all lined up. There we go. Now, I think this guy is going to be able to handle it way better. So, let's think here. We'll do the side hill first. Oh yeah, he's not even struggling. Good deal. Zoom out a little bit here so that I can see where we're going. Yeah, this guy is got a lot more horsepower, just pushes us over the edge here to be able to deal with this lime spreader on the hills. And that's the other thing that I just like about maps like this, like the terrain. Makes you have to think about what equipment you're using and how you're approaching the field. So many maps are just flat. And that gets to be a little bit boring. I like having to think about how I'm doing the work. There we go. The only thing I miss is GPS. I'm kind of a lazy farmer sometimes. I'm not necessarily great at driving straight, I guess. This was a problem in real life too. It took me the better part of the first year to figure out how to run the cultivator to not run over the crops when we were, well, that's what we used to call them, the cultivator, to run in between the rows of corn to knock down the weeds and put some liquid fertilizer in. I guess that's side dressing, I hear a lot of people refer to it as. We're driving in the neighbor's field. It's a good thing he hasn't planted anything yet. Alright, let's try and get up this hill now. We're going to do it this way to take a little bit more off of this side of the hill here. It's not really a clear, this is the better way to go on this corner here. Oof, there we go. And so I've been thinking a lot about animals, and I think we're definitely going to start with some sheep. And maybe the chickens, just because we have a little bit of wheat left over in our grain bin and it doesn't require much to feed chickens. And the achievement for chickens is to get them to breed, I think. And so if I just get a couple and let them go at it for a while in the background, maybe I'll get my achievement. But the sheep, I think that they're a lot less work than cows are, because in seasons I think they're going to actually graze on some of the grass out in the pasture during certain parts of the year. Let's think here. Where am I going to put this Wilmer? I think I've got it in this shed over here with the auger wagon, because that's all of our lime spreading. So we're going to be able to switch over and do the plowing here in a second. And yeah, to finish my thought on the sheep, is we're going to be able to keep up with them without it consuming all of our time in the series, especially early on. And we're going to be able to keep up with them with just the grass that we have. Technically, we could do the same with cows, but we'd need silage and so on and so forth to get to a point where we're really keeping the cows fed and happy and fully productive. And that's a little bit more work, and it's going to take some time. So I figured we'd start with hay and eventually get to cows once we've built up a little bit of silage and stuff. We didn't quite line up here for the plow, so I'm just going to square off a smidge better. And then we'll get manual attached to lift us up. And I think this thing has hoses. Yep. And let's go ahead and plow this bigger field first. Get our handy dandy plow unfolded here. It's not even set down and it's plowing because of the terrain. Oh, no, because I have it lowered. My bad. And the only thing I'm missing is multi-terrain angle. I want multi-terrain angle on all my maps. But I didn't think about it before we got started on this one, and I really don't want to reset our crop state and everything again. So we're going to live with this for a season and see how it goes. And this tractor seems to be doing a pretty good job of pulling this up the hill. I mean, it's struggling a little bit, but we're surviving. We'll definitely be doing most of our turning the long way here as we do the top part of this field, which he should be able to get his full 10 miles an hour going this way, which is what we're looking for. And so with that, let's cut into a little bit of a time lapse and dig into some of this plowing. You can do it, little tractor. You can do it. I do like that it pulls hard going up the hill. There we go. And if we just wrap up these little bits here. As I was looking at the field across from us here, that's also one of our fields. The thought was to just plant directly into it because I'm pretty sure our planter supports that. But looking at it, like, that's some tall crop residue left. I think it's technically cotton, which isn't even allowed in the geo that I'm running, but I don't know that I want to just run that crop under. I mean, I can, but I think instead we might spray the fertilizer on there and then plow it under and just get that out of the way now. It's one extra job that we have to do, the plowing, but A, it'll be a little bit more realistic, and B, it gets a fertilizer done in the spring here, and so we won't have to worry about that third state later in the year on that field. Break our jobs up a little bit, and I kind of want to try out that new sprayer, make sure it's going to work, and yeah, I don't want to just be doing every single field of spraying later on. We are going to need to buy one more container of spray, I think, to get through the year, though, because we've got none in the planter yet. And so that's something else that we're going to have to sort out. I'm hoping that our $3,000 is enough for us to buy one more thing of spray. I can't remember how much it cost, but I'm guessing it's a couple $1,000s for a pallet of spray. And so with that, we're going to park this plow for a moment, and we're going to actually grab the sprayer real quick and go spray that field. And so we'll see if how much they've sped up the working speed is enough for me to feel somewhat realistic. It went from, the in-game one is 7 miles an hour, and they sped this one up to 10. I think most of the spraying I did was at like 12 to 15. Oops. We're going to try from this side because it was... We're going to try from this side because it was trying to work with the other vehicle when I was doing the manual attach a second ago. There we go. We're at 0%. So we're going to back in here and load up this spray off of the pallet. I'll zoom in a little bit here. I think it's about a half of the thing here that we've got in spray. Yeah. So that'll be more than enough to do this field, but I just thinking as we get over to the planter, it's just not that much spray. Well, let's lift the sprayer up so we're not dragging. I was going to start there, but in hindsight, I think I'm going to start up in the other corner so that we can just handle everything down in this little, I don't know, section behind the fence there. Otherwise, we're going to get hung up trying to turn around that fence is my concern. We'll see. Plus, there's a driveway entrance right here, which is handy. Oh, there's even a little bit of water on the ground there. That's kind of cool. We are really wide, so let's get over here. And yeah, we're knocking down all this crop as I drive around. I'm just curious if that's having a fertilizer effect, but it's not. I was curious if I plowed this crop under, if that would count as fertilizer on its own, but not so much. So with that, I think we're lined up. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. Oh yeah, this is working pretty good. We'll raise this up a little bit. And it's definitely applying a fertilizer state here, so we're going to be good to go. And yeah, 10 miles an hour feels a lot better. I can live with 10 miles an hour. I still want section control though, so we might have to think about adding that in here. And boom. There is that. And then we're just gonna, whoops, trees. We're gonna try and go down here by the fence. I'm going to turn that off because I think that's about the right width. Try not to hit the fence here. And there. Straighten it out. And can we do this from this awkward angle? You got this, buddy. You got this. Alright, there we go. Now, this is a very odd way to do this, I know, but it makes sense in my mind, trust me. So now we're just gonna square this off a little bit here. Spray around here, avoid the trees. And there we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We totally didn't hit that tree. So let's get this going. Back up this way. I'm gonna jump a couple of rows over here. And this is gonna be the quickest spray sessions ever, which is really handy. I get tired of doing the same job for any length of time. And so that's the other benefit of playing on a little bit of a smaller map with probably equipment that's a bit oversized for this map, but that's okay. It lets us get through a lot of jobs in a shorter period of time, which is handy. I could have probably been like 4 rows over. What's really going to drive me nuts is when I come up 4 rows short on the next pass. Yeah. Oh well. Guess we'll just make sure we're overlapping here a little bit to not miss any sections. And then, yeah, this is going to wrap up spraying in this field, which is good because once we plow all this under, we'll be able to... I seriously missed this little piece. We'll be able to get the planter set up and start planting as soon as the temperature warms up just a little bit. The ground temperature is still pretty cold, and so we gotta wait until the ground temperature gets up to a point where germination is gonna happen. We want to make sure there's no risk of it freezing again. So if we look at the weather real quick, looks like we're pretty safe. Like it's just gonna continue to be warm. It's a little bit colder tomorrow than it is today, but still warmer than ground temperature. And I was running my clock at a higher speed. We're gonna run it up a little bit to catch up. The intent was to continue to run the clock at 5x speed while we're playing. I must have forgotten. There we go. So, get out of the trees there. Our grass is not as far along as I thought it was, so we're definitely not going to be mowing that anytime soon. And when we get back down in the yard here, we're going to just double check our field statuses. Because I think plowing this is the last thing that we have left until winter. We're actually going to park this in the shed. It's a fairly sensitive piece of equipment that we want to protect from the elements. Alright, let's check our field statuses. So now we got fertilizer there. Yep, these are all in the status that I think they should be. So we're just going to plow up this field that we just sprayed. And then I think we'll be calling it a day until spring comes along. We do have to get our planter ready still, but, well, not until spring comes along, until the ground warms up. We do have to get our planter ready still, but that's not going to take a whole lot of effort. Just got to get some seed in there, maybe buy some more fertilizer, so that is going to be easy.
already broken from the start. A short-lived love story on a street in Italy. Never thought that it would be enough to mend my broken heart. Afraid to drown in memory. The shadows, they are dancing in the street. Maybe I do need to worry. Maybe I should be afraid of hurting you. But you can't break my heart. It's already broken from the start. No, you can't break my heart. It's already broken from the start. No, you can't break my heart. It's already broken from the start. No, you can't break my heart. It's already broken from the start.
So we're wrapping up the last little corner here on this field. Oh, and that is going to wrap up all of our spring tillage work, it looks like. Turn this back on. Oh, no, we forgot field 6. How did we forget field 6? Well, I think we're going to wrap up the episode here, however. And next episode, we'll pick up field 6. We'll get the planter all set up and ready to go. And yeah, maybe even get into some planting. We'll see how the day shapes up. Hopefully you've been enjoying this series. It's a little bit different, running a little bit older equipment here. I could have used this. That field didn't need to be plowed. Why didn't I think of that? Sorry, mental breakdown there. But hopefully you're enjoying this series. If you are, please leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. That's all for today. Ketter.